guys, it's me, your friend neighbour, Untitled Sonic Cat Calamity, and hopefully you're watching this and the audio is good and the video is good, because last time it went completely wrong. I don't know how to fix it at all. Well, no, I know how to fix it in OBS, but I didn't know how to fix it in the video. I don't think that was me fixing it. So apologies for that. We're about to get into all of the spoilers of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Every little detail we're going to be getting into. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, please come back to this video later. I really do appreciate it. Don't scream at me in the comments saying that I spoiled it when I've clearly told you this is spoilers. And one last thing, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Drop a like on this, leave a comment below. One lucky person will be winning the ring. That's right, one of the rings from the giant Sonic mural that I saved. I will be giving this away. I will be sending this to one person. I'll be picking someone at random. Use this to teleport across the universe, as all advanced cultures do, according to our Lord and Savior, the Sonic. Leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, slap a like on it. I'm picking one of you at random, and let's get into all these spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So the movie starts with Eggman trapped on the Mushroom Planet. Now, he basically uses Sonic's quill to create a signal that gets boosted into space in the hopes that someone will pick up on it and come to see what's going on. Three figures emerge from the portal. Now, they look human in size. They have bird-like helmet mask things. Their faces are completely obscured. I actually think it might just be a little bit of a nod to the Babylon Rogues. Aiden, my co-worker, also thought it could be that. We don't know. I think it might be more likely that there's something to do with hunting Longclaw's people, because, or they are part of Longclaw's tribe, because, again, the bird-like elements, but see, we're going to get into that in a little bit because they really go into the lore here. And then Eggman knocks them all out with, I've got to be honest, some really cartoony noises that really throw me out of it every time I watch it. I saw it again last night and it really throws me out of it for some reason. But they all are defeated by Eggman. And then a certain red boy with very oversized fists walks through that portal and asks Eggman, "Where did you find that?" Referring to the blue quill. And Eggman says, you know, a blue rodent on the planet called Earth. I'd love to show you the way. And then that sets up the movie. Roll that title screen. Let's do it. And then we're in Seattle. And in Seattle, Sonic is trying to be Batman, or, you know, a superhero of some kind. But considering his use of the word justice, we'll say it's Batman. He stops some armed robbers by, you know, going into the van and knocking them all out and taking over the wheel. He doesn't realise that there's a load of bombs in there, and the bombs will start going off or like ticking down, and he's trying to dispose of them all. Then he finds out he's got one in his quills, and he uses a screwdriver or a power drill to completely unbolt the truck before it hits a load of pedestrians and a kid who has an ice cream that falls off. And last night, because I was specifically watching the scoop of ice cream itself, the CGI on it is absolutely hilarious. It's just totally taken out of The Incredibles. No real issue with that, to be honest. Sonic calls himself Blue Justice, and he ends up like blowing up a load of the sewage works because he throws a load of the bombs out of the truck while it's moving, and then they all blow up and the water goes up. It kind of looks like Chaos in Sonic Adventure 1. It's pretty cool. And yeah, when he goes home, we hear the wonderful Stars in the Sky by Kid Cudi. I'm absolutely in love with that song right now. You see him going up to the mountain of green hills and then going down to his house, where he sneaks into his room and he tries to get some sleep before Maddie comes in and tells him that he needs to go and meet Tom, because that's what he agreed to do today. He meets Tom on a boat, and Tom gives him this whole thing about responsibility, knowing exactly what he did last night, going and trying to be a hero again and causing a lot of destruction. They have a little chat about it, and Sonic agrees that he's going to be more responsible, and then decides to speedboat the boat by, you know, running behind it. We then cut to the Wachowski household, where Sonic has used a ring to teleport Maddie and Tom to Hawaii for Rachel's wedding. Rachel being Maddie's sister from the first movie. You may remember in that scene that wasn't one of my favourite scenes, to be completely honest with you, but I suppose that's because it's human stuff in a Sonic movie. Anyway, they go to Hawaii and Sonic sets himself up for an adventure at home, which consists of spilling what looks to be M&Ms on a sofa and jumping up and down. Apparently that's the dream. I mean, that wasn't what I wanted to do as a kid if I was home alone. I would have well, actually, I probably wouldn't have wanted to set off fireworks or something like that, so maybe that was for the best. Sonic is chilling at home, and it's not long before Dr. Robotnik turns up with his new best friend, Knuckles. A really cool fight scene ensues, and then Tails turns up in a police car and runs over Knuckles as they try and escape. The scene with Tails in the first movie is not technically chronologically in line, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Knuckles chases the two down, but they get away by driving off a cliff and flying away into the distance. Gotta say, this is really where I just fell in love with Tails, and it's, you know, his first kind of big scene, but he's just adorable, and the way that he, fanboys over Sonic is just a really nice take that we haven't really had before in the same way. He's always idolized Sonic, but this is, kind of fanboy, and I kind of rate that, because Tails is also very much his own person in this. So I think that kind of works, and they fly off, you know, the classic Tails carrying Sonic, and it's a really cool scene. Robotnik catches up with Knuckles, contacts Agent Stone from the first movie, and basically has an egg deployed with a new suit for him, and drones and buzz bombers, and he forms an alliance with Knuckles because Knuckles is after the Master Emerald. Originally, their alliance was just to hunt down Sonic and Knuckles would get Eggman back to planet Earth. But now, they're going to ally so that they can find the Master Emerald and Knuckles can use it to kill Sonic. Why does he want to kill Sonic? We'll get into that shortly. Sonic and Tails go to Wade's house, you know, the policeman from the first movie, and for some reason, the map suddenly makes a Force Ghost out of Longclaw. Okay? And she passes on the message that the Master Emerald is located on Earth, and it's Sonic's duty to protect it, and Sonic's like, this is my big moment, and I really like that for him, you know, kind of stepping up, realising, okay, I've got real responsibilities, this is my moment to shine. So, they decide they're going to set off for the Master Emerald. They look at the map and they realise that the Master Emerald is on the map in the first place, and a clue tells them to go to Siberia to find a compass to find the Emerald. Yeah, it's one of those kind of narratives, but I didn't feel bored during it, which you often do with these things, so actually it really does work for the movie. Sonic and Tails head to Siberia. They find shelter in a pub bar type thing, and basically they offend the people there because Tails' translator, which is pretty much ripped out of Unleashed. I'm just saying, that is pretty much the same thing. I'm pretty sure it even has the same writing on the bottom of it, of the screen. Yeah, he uses that to translate what he's saying into Siberian, but it doesn't work and he ends up offending them, and they unmask Sonic and Tails from their winter gear and try and throw them in the fire because I suppose that's an appropriate response. And Tails calls out in Bavanka, I think it is, which is a custom for resolving disputes, and if Sonic and Tails win, they have to be let free. So of course, they have a dance contest, and they're trying to get the map at the same time as they left on the table and keeps moving around the room. And it's one for the kids. You know, it's not a scene for me, but I'm not gonna, rate the movie negatively for it, because I understand what this is. As much as I do feel this movie is for the older fans like me, there's so much here for us. It is for kids as well. That's the market they put it to, but they just do it in a way so that long-time older fans like me can be completely satisfied with it. So Sonic and Tails win the dance contest to Uptown Funk, which is, yep, okay. And then they proceed the next day. They fall asleep. There's a really cute scene of Sonic putting a blanket on Tails and him falling straight asleep in front of the fire, and then Sonic goes and lays next to him and he puts his two tails over him as a blanket. It's really, really cute. it is a great scene for fleshing out their relationship. Like, there's a bit with Tails where he's like, I'm not a field guy, I just, you know, I'm the tech guy, and it's like, no, you can be a hero, you can shine, and it's very reminiscent of Sonic Adventure 1 and that story he goes through there. And also, during the dance sequence, Sonic does the whole Sonic Adventure 1 pose. It's really cool. I squeal every time I see it. I squealed last night, even though I know it's gonna happen, and it's just, yeah, awesome little nod and Easter egg there. So Sonic and Tails fly to the temple in Siberia so they can go and get the compass, taken to the Master Emerald, and they get there, they get the compass, and who should turn up but Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles and a big old swarm of buzz bombers and drones. Sonic and Tails make a quick escape. Sonic destroys one of the drones and uses it as a snowboard to get down the hill, whereas he tells Tails to go high. Tails gets chased by Robotnik, and Sonic gets chased by like hundreds of drones. Knuckles quickly follows suit and chases him down the mountain, and the two of them have a little bit of an altercation. We find out that Knuckles has been training for this his whole life, and it's really cool. They end up like standing off on the mountain, and basically Knuckles explains that the day that the Echidnas went to fight Longclaw's people for control of the Emerald, Knuckles was told to stay behind because he was just a kid. His father told him to stay. And he lost his entire tribe that day. Which means Longclaw clearly, like, bossed it out and killed all those Echidnas. Which is mad. This is a kid's movie. I'm not so hesitant about Maria getting shot in the next one now. So basically the two kind of realise they lost everything that day, and their whole lives were messed up. And Sonic throws the compass to Tails in an attempt for him to get away, but Robotnik grabs it and blows Tails up. Like, blows him up with rockets. Obviously a reference to Sonic 2 and how often that would happen, but raw, Tails is like knocked out for the next portion of the film. Knuckles makes a comment about how Sonic went for Tails and not to go and get the compass, and finds it peculiar. Then, due to a landslide caused by the explosion, Sonic and Tails are like snowboarding off. He's got Tails' unconscious body in his arms, and he's on the phone to Tom telling him he needs to use the ring he gave him right now to save Sonic. Unfortunately, Tom doesn't really have the ring. He has the wedding ring from the wedding he's at. I didn't comment on the fact there's other scenes from the wedding earlier because the human stuff kind of doesn't matter, but in this point it does. Tom goes and knocks out Rachel's husband, or fiance at that point, and takes the ring, opens the portal. Sonic and Tails come crashing through with the avalanche, and the whole wedding is destroyed. We then find out that Rachel's husband is part of an undercover unit and basically catfished her well, not catfished her, but it's called Operation Catfish, where he basically got close to her to find out about Sonic from the first movie, who has created a new force called the Guardian Units Nations. That's right, Gun are in this movie. Of course, if you've been following the promotional material and you've got an eagle eye, you knew they were in it, but yeah, they fully just acknowledge it. They don't gloss over it. Gun are in this, and they arrest Tom, they arrest Sonic, they arrest Tails, put them in cages, and leave them in the hotel while they're basically waiting for like the extraction. Then you have a scene of like Rachel hunting down her fiance husband because he lied to her and it's on a golf cart and all that, whereas Maddie is using the gadgets from Tails' bag to get to them and free them. They manage to free them. They all stand on the beach with the commander tied up with a gag in his mouth, which pretty sure you're going to prison for that, just saying. Maddie and Tom want to go with Sonic, but Sonic says it's too dangerous. He's the only one that can get there on time, as they see a massive beam of light shooting into the sky near the islands in Hawaii. That's because Knuckles and Eggman have found the temple of the Master Emerald. Sonic says the iconic line of "Gotta go fast" and runs across the ocean. I got serious Dragon Road vibes when I saw this. It's such a beautiful shot. And you realise why Sonic can't do it a lot, because of waves. He can't adjust for that as he's running, and he ends up crashing out and washing up on the beach of the island. Inside, Knuckles and Eggman are running through this temple, and booby traps go off every 7 seconds, which I thought was a really cool little thing. And yeah, they're running through it, and then Eggman suggests that maybe we don't run through it, and I use this little droid that I've got, this little it's like a nano drone. It's tiny. He's like, maybe I'll use this to map out the area, and then it's like Google Maps, turn right here, and he's like, work smarter, not harder, and they go off, and they get to the Master Emerald, and then suddenly our boy Sonic is rushing through it. There's a really cool part where he's like falling down the waterfalls like that, and it's ripped straight from the games, and I just thought it was an awesome little reference there. Sonic makes quick work of it and then falls through the ceiling where Knuckles and Eggman are stood in front of the Emerald, and it's kind of like, yeah, you're not getting it, like, let's do this. So Sonic and Knuckles have the most epic fight. It's so good, guys. It's choreographed so well. They go at each other, the punches are flying, not just from Knuckles, like Sonic is going for it. And there are like 2 points in the fight when Knuckles completely takes Sonic out. Like punches him off into the distance, he's gone. And then literally the second time, Knuckles is right before the Master Emerald, he's about to take it. And Sonic creates like a cut in the floor that knocks Knuckles into the air, and then quadruple pounds him into that gap in the floor, like knocking him further and further down. It's nuts. I just love it so much. Every time I see it, I absolutely squeal. During this time, Robotnik is taking the Emerald, and Sonic's like, Knuckles, look what he's doing. And Knuckles is like, oh, you're lying to me. He's like, no, seriously. And he turns around and he sees Eggman taking it. And it's like, no, I thought we were friends. This was not the deal. And Eggman's just like, yeah, you're an idiot. Of course, this was how it's going to go. And he takes the Master Emerald and he teleports off. He uses Chaos Control. Can we just like acknowledge that for a second? He uses Chaos Control and obliterates the temple, trapping Sonic and Knuckles inside it. Knuckles gets knocked under a big bit of debris and he's gonna die as the place is just filling with water. Sonic goes down and helps him, pulls him out. They work together to push the pillar off with Knuckles, and then Knuckles just swims off and Sonic's left there drowning. Sonic also does the whole air bubble thing from the games where he like sucks it in, and it's so cool. Then Knuckles comes back down, saves Sonic, brings him back up, says that he was trying to figure out what the tactical advantage of Sonic saving his life was, and it's quite funny. The two kind of reconcile and realise that they're both just trying to protect their family, and you know, they both suffered great loss, and that they should be on the same team and they need to stop Eggman, and thus the formation of Team Sonic is built as Tails arrives, and yeah, we gotta have a showdown. One thing I did miss out that I want to say quickly, the Master Emerald was forged by the Great Echidnas after they combined the 7 Chaos Emeralds into the Master Emerald. I said this would happen. I made this prediction. It's not canon to the games, they're separate entities, but I knew this would be the case. I just knew it, and I was spot on. The Echidnas gathered the 7 Chaos Emeralds, they built the Master Emerald, and then they could use it to wipe out like entire armies. It was mental. And basically another legion of heroes that Longclaw was a part of thought that no one should have that power, and so went against the Echidnas, and a great war erupted, and it's been going on for centuries. So with that out of the way, Robotnik returns to Green Hills and basically turns all the military vehicles that have turned up into the Death Egg robot. He's basically Doctor Doom / Magneto, and he builds the giant Death Egg robot. It's so cool, and I just love it so much. I can't believe we're actually seeing this in a live action movie, and it doesn't look terrible either. It completely fits the setting and tone. So he builds it, he's blowing stuff up, and Team Sonic arrive on the tornado. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all arrive to take down Dr. Robotnik. But Eggman is taking them. Like, the tornado gets taken down by the Death Egg robot's moustache, and there's bombs going off everywhere, and the 3 of them end up on the ground fighting off loads of drones, and it's like a proper Avengers style camera pan around the 3 as they fight off all these drones. It's so cool, and they start running towards them, and they think like the dialogue, the interplay between those guys, the chemistry is just electric. I love it. Seeing this team come together it's perfect. It's not the exact rendition of the games, but it's entirely well built around the narrative of this universe, and it just fits. And I love it. I love it so much. The three of them just going at each other. It looks like it could be out of Sonic Heroes. It really does. I absolutely love it. And they go at Eggman, and they realise that Sonic is his distraction, is his Achilles heel, his groin, as they put it, the weakest part. So if he can get inside Eggman's head, and he can make him focus on Sonic, the others can take the Master Emerald from him. So Sonic does all this thing, and he basically ends up running across a bridge. The Eggman blows up, like proper blows up. Sonic is done on the floor. At the same time, Tails and Knuckles go into the Death Egg robot, and Tails basically creates loads of clones of himself, does an old shadow clone jutsu with some of his tech, and then Knuckles just stood there like, Eggman, I'm also a hologram, and he's not, obviously. But Knuckles just goes at him and punches the emerald out of him. It's so cool. And the Death Egg robot falls, they fall out of it, the Master Emerald falls out of the eye of the Death Egg robot and rolls across the floor. Everyone's down. Eggman is getting back up. He's got auxiliary power that he put into the Death Egg robot, so it wasn't just powered by the Master Emerald. And he pulls it back up, is standing there, it's ready to go, and Sonic is moving at like a centimetre a second. He is absolutely busted, but he sees the emerald and he knows he needs to get it and get it away. So he's crawling towards it. The Death Egg robot is walking towards him, and obviously that covers a lot of distance in no time at all, you know, the size of it. And it walks forward, and Tom and Maddie are in like a little Jeep type car, and Maddie leans out the window and grabs Sonic as he grabs the emerald. And Eggman blows it up, like straight up blows up the car. They get it, goes on its side, they get out of it, they're all huddled behind it, and they have this like family moment where Sonic accepts that he's going to die, and they are going to die with him. They don't want to leave him, and they all sit there waiting for it to for this foot to come down, and Sonic's got the Master Emerald there and he's holding it, and it just shatters because he's been under so much strain. And the 7 Chaos Emeralds kind of tumble out of it. They're tiny in this. I kind of like that. They're like that big, and they all tumble out. And just as the foot is about to come down, they spin around and they form a circle, and it goes straight into his chest, and done. Our heroes are dead. Until they're not. Until a golden glow is seen out the bottom of the foot, and Super Sonic with the 7 Chaos Emeralds. I said it would happen. I said it. I said this is exactly how it would go down, and I was right. He appears. He's holding the foot. He shoots through it. Knocks back Eggman. He goes into the air in front of him, and he spins around the head like super fast and just cuts it off. And Eggman stood there on this plate that he stood on inside the Death Egg robot, and Sonic's there just like, and it's the scene that I was talking about in my non-spoiler review, if you watch that. This scene is pulled out of Unleashed, and the reason for it is because Jeff Fowler directed that opening cutscene in Unleashed and directed this. The whole Super Sonic standing there thing, Eggman being like, oh, how about, we call it quits, I'm sorry, you did some things, I did some things, and it's just like, I got serious Unleashed vibes. Even when he's like smashing through the Death Egg robot, there's shots that are like of him smashing through Eggman's spaceship in the opening cutscene. So Eggman's got like his hands behind his back, and he shoots these like rocket-powered fists from the Death Egg robot at Sonic, and Sonic just like obliterates them. They're gone. It like destroys them completely. And then he flies through it, he destroys the Death Egg robot, it tumbles backwards, and he comes to the ground, and like Tom and Maddie go to hug him, and Knuckles is like, no, that is not the Sonic you once knew. Like, touching him will kill you. He's like this powerful now. And Sonic, like, opens the heavens. Black thunder and lightning just, you know, full, like, end of the world apocalypse weather. And the chili dog falls out. And he enjoys it. And then he calls another one out that lands on Knuckles and, like, covers his face. Yeah, little comedic moment for the kids. And Sonic basically dissipates the Chaos Emeralds. Sends them flying. Knuckles picks up the shards of the Master Emerald and restores it. He's able to do that. So, yes, he's the protector of the Master Emerald now. And Sonic basically says, like, the Golden God thing was cool, but I think blue suits me better, or something like that. He does say Golden God. We're going Archie comic levels with Super Sonic, clearly. Like, are we going to go God mode? Because it kind of looks like it. If we're going to say it's God mode, then... So yeah, that happens, and then Tails says that Sonic was the most powerful being in the universe at that point. The most powerful hero in the universe, I think he says at that point. And it's just... raw. They did Super Sonic, and they did it right. We then cut to the new Wachowski family, including Knuckles and Tails, all playing baseball. Knuckles being hilarious with his very literal sense. As I said in my previous video, he's very much like Drax in this. There's big vibes there from Drax. They have their little moment. They, you know, play baseball. They get the Master Emerald with them, like, and they take it off because they almost forget it. I can't believe you'd almost forget the Master Emerald. You know, Sonic is called Tom's kid, and or Tom is called Sonic's father, and it's really cute. Like, the human elements are the weakest part of this film, but it is really cute. And they go off, and they off into the sunset while the amazing Kid Cudi song plays again. And that's our movie. Alright, let's talk about the post-credit scene. Gunn are cleaning up after mess that Dr. Robotnik made. And you find out they wiped all knowledge of Robotnik from their database. And they find something. Over 50 years old. A black site. A pod emerges from the ground. We see the shoes. We move up the torso. We see a belt. Not sure if that's a belt holding him in place, or if that would be a permanent fixture. Notice how calm I'm trying to be right now. And we pan up to see the spines in this, what seems to be a kind of like stasis chamber, pod type thing. We see the black and red spines. We see the eyes open, those red eyes. See the yellow electricity go mental as we hear the words Project Shadow. My favourite character in anything, like I'm not just talking Sonic, okay? Like, if you line up all fictional characters, Shadow the Hedgehog is my boy. I have gone as far as to say that I am Shadow's variant in this universe that we currently exist in, okay? I love Shadow more than I love anything, and my boy is here, and he looks perfect, and they're going the right way about it. Project Shadow 50 years ago, and so I'm just theorizing here, but the fact that they found it while wiping Robotnik off their databases says to me that it was created by Dr. Gerald Robotnik. They're actually going to go that route. Guys, I know people are mad. I know a lot of people are mad because they want Metal Sonic next. I still think Metal Sonic will be the villain of the next movie. I have a theory. You want to stay tuned for that video. I'm going to do a whole thing like I did in the last one, where I'm going to predict the next movie. And funnily enough, besides either the inclusion of Chaos or Metal Sonic in this, I was spot on. I got everything right in my predictions besides those two things, and I only thought they would come in as an end piece, and in fact they were just replaced by the Death Egg Robot. The Death Egg Robot was the end piece, so I got that little bit wrong, but my predictions seem pretty good. I'd like to give myself a pat on the back for that. So make sure you tuned in for that video. Best way to do that is subscribe, man. Like, do you want to win a ring or not? So yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog, the greatest character of all time. My buddy is here, and I'm so happy for you, man. I'm so happy. Every screening I've been to, people have started screaming and cheering when they've seen Shadow. And even last night, in a very kind of empty cinema, would you expect on a Thursday night in Camden Town? But I went to see it with a friend, and there were a couple more people in there that were like, I'd say around similar age. Like 2-3 small groups of 2-3 people, and everyone was cheering for Shadow. Like, it's just, we're going there. I know people think it's too early, but we're not following the continuity of the games here. We're adding things in. If you look at the MCU, Age of Ultron is nothing like the Age of Ultron comic. Civil War is nothing like the Civil War comic. These are just, you know, they adapt things, they move things around, and I think it's very likely that Metal Sonic could be in the next one, as I said, as the main villain, because we're going to get to that point again we kind of did with this movie, although it's going to feel kind of samey. It happens with Sonic stories, where Shadow and Sonic are going to reconcile, because Shadow isn't a bad guy. He's terribly misguided, he's traumatized, he's manipulated, but he's not an evil person. He doesn't, although he does wish harm on humanity, it's because he's been misguided on it. And they're going to have to reconcile, and they're going to have a big baddie. And wouldn't it make sense for Metal Sonic to be as dangerous as he is, and it need more than Sonic to destroy him, because he's built off Sonic's biometric data, so Sonic had Shadow with him. They'd finally be able to take him down together. I don't know. Again, predictions video will be coming. But this has been it. This has been the big spoils of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I think this is the best video game movie ever made. And I know I said that about the last one, but I think the last one was. And this just goes to another level, because it fully blends game material in a cohesive way that works with the narrative, and it doesn't deviate to lengths that don't seem believable within that universe, or deviate to boring lengths, as you get some films like Resident Evil do, and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I am a fan of the Resident Evil films, but you know, this is a massive, you know, gap in quality. I think this is incredible. My friend really enjoyed it last night. She has not seen, oh no, she has seen the first one now. She's not really into the Sonic, and she even picked up a few references to the games and whatnot, and thought it was a really good time, said it was better than the first one. Absolutely agree. It's definitely better than the first one. The first one was playing it safe. This one, just balls to the wall. Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Chaos Emeralds, fucking Shadow the Hedgehog, man. I'm just so happy for you, man. I just can't even, like, raw. You're here. So, I know today the movie is, like, properly out in most of the world, so let me know what you thought of the movie down in the comments below. As I said, make sure you leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and you have a chance to win this big polystyrene ring. Look, it's me coming through it. Big polystyrene ring. I will ship this out to someone. I'll pick someone at random. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care for now. Lots of love. Bye bye.